Hi, everyone. Good evening. I am Arlie Cornahal, the program coordinator here at LifeSci NYC Internship Program, and I'm here with Sharon, and I will be doing the overview of the program for the first half, and then Sharon will give the more in-depth presentation on how to make a strong application to our program. So to start off, the LifeSci NYC Internship Program is a part of the city's initiative to grow the life sciences industry. It's similar to the city's efforts to grow the tech industry about 15 years ago, and that has really paid off. So now there's tons of tech programs that have really grown up in the city, and they're definitely thriving. So this is very similar initiative to grow the life sciences industry as well. So about 5 years ago, in September 2016, Mayor de Blasio announced a 10-year, $1 billion initiative to grow the industry. In the past year has really paid off. Specifically during the pandemic, you can see how crucial this industry is. But really what our program is a summer internship program where we offer internships programs for college and graduate students for research roles, business roles, communications, marketing, just a different range of different roles across the industry. As we have grown our program, we have worked with our partners, and they've also started looking for interns during the academic year, which include part-time, full-time employees. So now once you apply to our program, you'll be able to see not just summer internship roles, but also academic year internships, which can either be part-time roles or full-time jobs as well. And we're now going into our 5th year in our program, and we're really excited to keep growing. So before we really get into, I guess, the industry, well, we think about the industry, what comes to mind? For example, what comes to mind for a lot of people would be pharmaceuticals. So that includes big companies like Pfizer. So right now, definitely know this company right now is COVID-19. There's also medical devices and biotechnology, which could be interesting to engineering students. There's also medicine and clinical care, which also includes not only the healthcare providers themselves, but also companies that we worked with that are producing products that can be utilized by health providers and also patients. There's also digital health, which I mentioned before. The tech industry has also been growing, and these companies might have apps that support providers or patients. Finally, there's also supporting companies that are a little bit outside the industry, but are still supporting the industry itself. So that can include marketing, business development, venture capital, equity research, and consulting. Okay, so here you can see a list of companies that we worked with in the last 4 years. So we really have 2 functions as a program. First of all, we're recruiting students like on this call. We hope that all of you can apply to our program, and we're also finding companies. So that makes it really easy for you because you can apply to our program and already see those companies that are available through our program, through our job portal. And over the last 4 years, we worked with over 120 companies. So we really worked with a wide range of companies in different parts of the industry. So you'll see a lot of companies that can range from startups, which can be 3 to 5 employees, so very small company, all the way up to Pfizer. So here you see kind of the breadth of life sciences companies. So you can see that pharmaceutical companies take up a big chunk of the companies that we do work with, as well as biotech and diagnostic companies. There's also more companies growing in digital health and health technology. So also nonprofits and foundations that might have some kind of educational mission. So you want to work with younger students, for example, that would be a good place for you to work in. We also work with hospitals, academic medical centers, and healthcare. So also research foundations that are doing important work, as well as marketing, data analysis, and consulting jobs. There's also incubators and accelerators, and that really that also includes not just placing interns to work in these incubators, accelerators themselves, but also many startups will also be located in these incubators, accelerators, and so you'll find yourself in a community of life sciences, kind of a microcosm of the industry itself here in New York City. So here you'll be able to perhaps do a lot of networking as well with different companies. So to be eligible for the program, we really have 3 main areas of eligibility. So first, it is paid. So that means you're going to be a W-2 employee. So you have to be legally allowed to work in the US. To be either US citizen, US permanent resident, DACA participant, or international student with either if a work visa that allows you to work, that includes either having an OPT or applying to OPT or CPT. If you have an F1 visa. You have to be an undergrad or graduate student enrolled in college or university in New York City or New York City resident enrolled elsewhere. This is to allow students or people who have graduated at least 2 years before, in the last 2 years, that includes spring 2020. So have a 3.0 grade point, a 3.0 GPA requirement. Although you have a compelling reason, we do have a box where you can write why that might not be the case, where you have maybe lower GPA than that. If you're a graduate student, you can also include your undergrad GPA. So here you see kind of the breakdown of science and management track roles we have in the industry. So science track roles can include biology, chemistry, biochemistry, biomedical engineering, and chemical engineering. So I'm sure most of you have heard of these different roles. It also includes tech fields and regulatory fields as well. The management track can include business, marketing, finance, public policy, supply chain. So what you should know is that you don't have to stick to one of these tracks. You're definitely allowed and open to choose roles in either of these tracks. So perhaps right now you're a biomedical engineering student, chemical engineering student, that you see a business role that you think you can be a good fit for. And these companies might actually be looking for students or applicants who have knowledge of scientific, material, methodologies. So you might be a really good fit for that role. So, and perhaps you might, want to end up in a certain track or whatever, I think whatever track you do, maybe get a role in, overall is going to be a great experience for you to get just overall more industry experience as well. So now you'll see just kind of a myriad of sample job titles that have been roles that we've had in the last couple of years. So you see a similar variety this year, though maybe not the exact same titles, but you'll see very similar roles. So again, once you apply to our program, you'll get asked to a job portal where you see a list of open roles that you can apply to, which can be academic year-long internships or a couple of months, or summer internships as well. So you might see a job title that might not sound like something in your wheelhouse, but once you do read through the whole job posting, you see that maybe you do actually fit the criteria and it could be a good fit for you as well. It's just a good idea just to overall take a moment to glance at different job titles, look at descriptions of the job, see what requirements that you need. So even though perhaps for example you're a freshman or a sophomore right now, you don't have a lot of experience, a lot of classes they're taking so far, but you want to build up to that. So it's just a good chance to overall look at what you might need in the next year to next 2 years to be able to apply or be able to be considered for those jobs that you do want in the future. So here I will go over program timing. So as a main thing to note is that we do place students on a rolling basis. So you need to be in the system and applying to jobs just to be able to get those jobs. So we have a few deadlines for summer, for example, which include the early bird deadline December 31st and final deadline of March 31st. And we're also placing academic year placements on a rolling basis. So again, once those roles come up, we'll post them and then we'll work on filling them right away. We'll get more summer internships in the fall. We'll get some in the fall for the summer internships, but we'll get more of them in the spring. So definitely keep checking, once you do apply to our program, keep checking, every week to see more open roles. And those who are selected as interns, we do have a 3-day boot camp, just the end of May, from May 25th to May 27th. And that is Wednesday to Friday for Memorial Day weekend. And that's a chance for you really to meet other, interns, other students in the field, to do some networking, to be part of different workshops on the industry itself, be part of career panels, for example. And lastly, though, the timing for following spring jobs will vary depending on your availability of you and your employer. So that really is up to your employer and you. So again, they might have looked for, a part-time person or a full-time person. You might be able to negotiate working on the evenings or the weekends, again, depending on your employer. Okay, so here we have a snapshot of beyond the jobs in the last couple of years. So as I mentioned before, we did have a boot camp in the last couple of years. So the last year it has been virtual. We're not sure yet if it'll be in person or not this year. Hopefully it will be, but that remains to be seen. So again, just a really great 3 days to get to know other interns, hear they're working in different companies, hear from leaders in the field, go to workshops around networking or imposter syndrome, and do other hands-on things together as well. Lastly, we also have some enrichment that we'll offer throughout the summer, and that can be, for example, bi-weekly or in that kind of nature, and probably in the evenings or doesn't of your new day job. And that can be, again, site visits to companies, and can include tours and career panels and other chances to also do some networking as well. So in the last year, we did have one opportunity out in the park, so we'll see what we'll have this year. So now I can go over the placement process overview. So the first step is to apply to our program, and you can apply at LifeSci.NYC. You can find our application. And you can either pick an abbreviated or full summer application. So depending on what you pick, you will see different job postings. So if you pick the abbreviated application, that means you only see academic jobs or internships that are available for the academic year. That includes fall, winter, and spring. And if you click the full summer application, that includes the whole year, including summer, so fall, winter, and spring as well. So once you've done application, you'll get a link again to our job portal, which allows you to see our current openings. Then you'll go through the list of openings that that are available, and you decide which might you have an interest in and which is you're also qualified for. Then you write cover letters for those roles. Make sure to put a lot of effort in that as well, and we'll go into detail about that as well later on. So after you're done with that, then we'll take a first screening. So me and Sharon will look at your cover letters and decide who will go on to the companies themselves. And then lastly, the companies will actually decide who to interview and who to hire. So we don't hire, we don't make those offers. The companies will do that. Okay. And just some notes, just additional notes, make sure to apply to other programs or jobs outside of our program, since you're not guaranteed a placement. Okay, so now I can just go over placement process. So there's a lot of aspects to the application. So in order to gain access to the summer openings, you will need your resume and CV, a personal statement, so why you're interested in the program itself, type of work desired, an optional video of 2 or 3 minutes long, and that can it can be done on your phone or your laptop, for example. It might be great at graphic design, so you can make it maybe more intriguing in that way. Slide your academic transcript. It can be unofficial, extracurricular leadership activities, GPA, honors, and rewards, and 1 or 2 recommendations. As a note, they will get an automated email, so make sure to ask them in advance for a recommendation. And make sure to pick someone who's not a friend or family, someone like a mentor, a professor in your field, for example. Okay, lastly, we'll evaluate your application. So that would include your interest in career in life sciences. So that includes, that doesn't mean that you're a biology major. It means that, whatever skills, showing us whatever skills or experience or, whatever you've studied so far is going to support a career in life sciences. We'll also look at personal maturity and professional maturity and integrity. So we'll judge, for example, the effort you put into the application, the lack of typos. What we hear in our commission will also count towards that, as well as the amount of experience you have as well. Lastly, we'll look at technical skills possessed or desire to learn. So really, you can make a case there as well. So that's basically on that part. And now Sharon will walk us through how to make a strong application.